back, bitches. Well, where do I start? It's May the 9th and I'm off trying to do this for the second time. Hopefully I've made enough changes and learned enough from my previous mistakes that I won't have those mistakes again. Maybe I'll have different mistakes. I lucked out in the weather. This whole first week, the weather is supposed to be nice. Rain's coming, but not just yet. And I'm pretty excited. I didn't sleep much last night. I was also sleeping on the floor in the van. We drove up to Owen Sound last night just to cut down on the drive time for today. It's Ryan's day off. Thank you, Ryan, for everything. Bringing me here. I don't know if you heard that, but he just texted me. I love you. And I'm hoping I'm gonna get to Queenston Heights this time. I don't see how I can't. Except for this heavy backpack. First things first. How awesome is this visor? I don't want to say I stole it from Ryan, but I kind of stole it from Ryan. I've been complaining for the last year and a half since I got dreadlocks that I can't wear hats anymore. And I'm a hat person. I'm a big hat person. In the warmer months, I don't leave the house without like a ball cap. And in the winter months, I don't leave the house without a toque. I always have a hat. Always. I don't want to say it's my safety blanket, but I love having something on my head. And with dreadlocks, I can't wear hats anymore. I can't wear toques or ball caps because my hair is just too darn big. So in the winter I wear like a neck buff just to keep my ears warm because toques won't come down enough to keep my ears warm. And now bringing back the visor because this is all I need, just something to shade the sun from my pale ass eyeballs. I love it. First day of a long backpacking trip feels daunting. Your head feels squirrely, just overwhelmed at the task ahead. There's a lot of rabbits around here. I feel overwhelmed. A lot of the anxieties and nerves that I had last time, I don't have. It's just knowing what I'm in for. It's a big deal. So I'm struggling to just wrap my head around it. Well, I'm sitting down to what most people would call lunch. It's a new word for me. I'm not a lunch eater. Just made this before I left the van. Rehydrated rice. It's not bad. It's what I expected it to be. I will eat it. But what I did just realize as I was going through my bag, pulling out coffee, because I'm making coffee after this, is I fucking forgot glucose tablets. How? I don't know. I must have taken them out of my food bag with the intention of sticking them on the outside of my pack, and then forgetting that I took them out of my food bag. So I was going through it, trying to find my glucose tablets so I could stick them easier access, and there are none. So, as a type 1 diabetic, this poses a pretty big problem for me. The first few days of a backpacking trip, my blood sugar is probably going to be running low. I do have a bag of gummy candies, I have some hard candies, and I have some Oreo cookies. None of those I really brought to use for really bad hypoglycemic episodes, but they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to keep me alive if and when I do go low, and otherwise I'm actually going to try to run my blood sugar high. So I'm gonna intentionally not take very much insulin and just deal with uncomfortable high blood sugars, because not being able to treat with glucose tablets is very worrisome for me, because nothing works as fast as that to get me out of that really nasty hypo. Whoops. This is hilarious. It's felt so hot. But look. That would be snow. It's still here. It's not the most ideal or stealth, but the Bruce Trail is actually just on the other side of those trees, so beside the water is where the trail is. It's not actually in the forest here, and I'm up there. My camping spot is not the most ideal situation. I am illegally camped, stealth camped in the Bruce Peninsula National Park, which is hella wrong. But I will continue to argue my case as I go along, that I'm not making a mess, I'm not having a fire, I'm barely even leaving a flat spot. I stopped a little bit early today. I think I only did about 16 kilometers because I want to set myself up properly. I know what's coming tomorrow, which is the trail between Cypress Lake and Halfway Dump or High Dump. One of the two. One of the dumps. The further dump. It is the most technical, difficult part of the entirety of the Bruce Trail. And to tackle that on day 2 is kind of a lot, because there really is nowhere to stay. If you want to book a campsite at Halfway Log Dump or High Dump, you would have had to book it probably 5 months ago. Furthermore, I didn't come here to pay for camping. I don't want to pay for camping. Otherwise, I would have just stayed at Cypress Lake, which is like right over there. I'm really close to Cypress Lake. But I came across this spot and I walked up the hill and I found a kind of flat spot. There's water. I rarely get stealth spots that have water access, and it sets me up for tomorrow. So I know what I'm in for, and it's probably going to take me all day. I'm pretty sure last year when I did it, I was probably averaging 1.5 to 2 kilometers an hour, because it is just unbelievably technical. I've never hiked anything like that in my life. So, oh, and on top of all that, like, I think I slept for 2 hours last night, maybe 3. I'm fucking exhausted. So there's a good chance I'm going to sleep kind of well tonight. I never sleep all that great while camping, but hopefully if I get some half decent sleep, then tomorrow's hike will be a little bit easier. And of course, you know, like, having coffee in the evening is probably not the best idea, but I do that at home. How is that any different? It's a pretty night though. I don't know if you're gonna hear this because the water is kind of noisy. I'll find out. I procrastinated making these noodles for the last couple hours. It's probably about 8 o'clock right now, and I was almost asleep in my tent, and I kept telling myself, get up and make some fucking food, because I really don't want to eat. But part of the game plan is, well, the whole game plan this time is to eat. Last time I had to end my trip because of malnutrition, and I am hell-bent and determined to not let that happen again. So even when I'm not hungry, when I just don't feel like it, I am gonna try and eat. Not happy about it. Oh well. Goodbye, special camp spot. May all stealth sites be as soft as you. Maybe a little flatter, but softer. No, flatter. Soft's fine. And this is how I get up and down out of this place. My little spot hidden away. Series of the Bruce Trail videos, unlike last time where I was talking about things about me that were long and arduous, this time I thought it'd be funny to just talk about random facts about me, or just weird things. And yesterday I talked about my obsession with hats and the fact that I would never be seen without a toque or a cap on my head. So that's yesterday's. Today, haven't figured it out yet. I'll get back to you. Some might argue that trekking poles do not comply with leave no trace. Then again, just the general act of tromping down the trail is probably not either. I guess I could have got a campsite at Stormhaven. Not a single food bag hanging, which tells me that all the campsites are probably open. Then again, I'm starting to wonder, like, are they even open for camping yet? A lot of the provincial parks in Ontario don't open until May 24. And it is May the 10th today. I could have just camped there quietly, maybe. Superstar! I'm at Halfway Log Dump, where they have very lovely bathrooms. Unfortunately, I cannot take a dump here at Halfway Log Dump because I already did. I wanted to make it here, but I couldn't. Check out this cliff badge. I'm sure the GoPro doesn't pick it up, but this is arguably the most rugged and difficult section of the trail. I definitely hate it. I hated it last year too. At least this year it's not wet and slippery like it was last time. But it is so slow. And I just keep tripping on everything. I'm so tired. I made it to High Dump. But how bad do I want to go down and sit by the water? Pretty bad. What's for lunch today? Nothing. Not really. I did make my oatmeal this morning and I ate it over the course of a couple hours and I ate the whole thing, which normally I don't do. But right now I'm not hungry, and I'm not hungry at all. I really just don't want to eat. I am making crappy coffee with one of these protein shakes. That's food, isn't it? It looks pretty gross, doesn't it? It kind of looks like sewage water. But it tastes pretty good. And the water from Georgian Bay is ice cold. I know I said this last time, and I'm probably going to repeat myself over and over because I'm redoing what I've already done, but this trail here, which is kind of flat, it just feels unbelievably good after doing that insanely rugged 10-kilometer section between Cypress Lake and High Dump. I'm pretty sure if you ask anybody, they'll probably say that that's the most rugged. It's brutal. The only bonus this year, well, other than it being dry, is the fact that I knew what I was up against. Last year, I had no idea. And when I hit that section, I thought, oh my God, it was so demoralizing. And when it went on for like hour after hour after hour, by the time I got here last time, I was fucking destroyed. I find it really strange that almost 2 full days of hiking, I've really not seen anybody. Aside from the areas around Cypress Lake where the grotto is and there's a lot of tourists, I have not walked or encountered any other hikers whatsoever. I don't know why that is. It's the beginning of May and it's unseasonably warm. It shouldn't be this warm this far north at the beginning of May. So I think it's throwing people off, but where are all the people? Nobody's out here enjoying this gorgeous weather. I know it's a Tuesday, but I'm out here. This tree just made me laugh because it's getting naked. I don't know if you saw that, but I just passed a group of backpackers. There must have been at least 20 of them, all in a tight little row. Like they weren't spread out or anything, they were in a line. Apparently it's a high school class. I'm sure they're going down to High Dump. Well, at least I saw some other hiker today. I'm starting to struggle right now. 17 kilometers. 10 of those were insane. I do not remember this part of the trail to the parking lot from High Dump being this long. I feel like I've been on it forever. I probably haven't. Then there's a significantly long road section once I get out there. I think I'm gonna hike that road section and probably find a campsite as soon as that road section ends. Yeah, it's hard getting back into this. It's very hot, which, you know, kind of makes my feet hurt a bit. And I don't know, well, I have to ask future editing me whether or not I put that footage in this morning. If I did, then you already saw it. If I didn't, then I'll just say I was putting Leuko tape on my hips this morning because the first few days of any backpacking trip for me always blisters my hips. I often get them up here on my collarbone too, but because this is a framed pack, it's sitting less on my collarbones, but my hips hurt, and I don't know if the Leuko tape's gonna help. It's sticking to my shirt, and it still hurts quite a bit, but I don't know. I wish that didn't have to happen, but it does every time. Without fail. The rest of the trip, my hips will be fine. It's just the first few days, it's like, gotta be blistered, gotta be irritated. Fuck you, hips. When I started this morning, I was over here somewhere because Stormhaven was the first campsite I passed. And then I'm there. So that's the road. It really is quite long. It says it's 8 kilometers. Yeah, okay. That felt like 8 kilometers. Yes, I just peed on my shoe. Where you going, buddy? This is basically where I camped last time, like in behind those trees. It is a hot 8-kilometer road walk. I'm feeling pretty icky. I hiked about 26 kilometers today. And it's funny when I say hiked because the last 8K was road, and I hiked so many K and then I walked on the road. And at the end of the day there, it was really hot. Like the sun was beating down. It just felt like I was super exposed. There was no shade on the road. Felt like my neck was on fire, like sunburn, even though I had sunscreen on, but it was hard. Road walking kind of sucks to begin with, but like at the end of the day, after tackling that brutal section, I was toast. I guess I could have camped at that site I camped at last year, but I wanted to push it because tomorrow night there's an overnight rest area on Georgian Bay. So it's a legit camping spot, and I camped there last year, but I hiked there from that spot that I pointed out earlier. So the day was somewhere in the high 30s kilometer-wise, and I thought, well, I've got a lot of daylight today. I could just walk this road and get it over with, and at least that's 8K less that I would have to do tomorrow. It's easier to do roads in the morning than it is in the evening, but that's my plan. I'm planning on staying at that overnight rest area. I can't fucking remember it for the life of me. It's about 10 kilometers outside of Lion's Head, and I do have a campsite booked at Lion's Head for not tomorrow night, but the night after. So if I stay at that overnight rest area, then I only have 10K into Lion's Head the next day, and I can get a bit of a rest. It's not luxurious campground, but it's just somewhere to recharge my battery bank and have a shower and pick up a few resupply items. I kind of underpacked a few things. I haven't underpacked meals, I don't think. I don't know. I kind of screwed this part up because I'm not seeing Ryan until next, I think Wednesday or Thursday. So this first section by myself was going to be about a week and a half. And I have a week's worth of food, and I'm not even sure if it's, excuse me, quite a week's worth of food. But I don't have glucose tablets, which has been stressing me out very much. If I don't have glucose tablets, I am stressed. I don't go for a walk around the block without a little container in my pocket. And last night I did go low twice in the middle of the night, and I had to roll over and munch away on gummy candies, which I'm not a fan of keeping like open in the tent, but I don't know. I'm so uncomfortable if I don't have glucose tablets. That is my life-saving medication, so to speak. It is the best thing for low blood sugar. So I have been running my blood sugar high. I've been really not taking as much insulin as I normally would, and it's been okay. Like, I haven't had any lows, but I also have been a little bit higher than I would like to be, but that's on purpose, because if I have like a borderline low, some chocolate or an Oreo cookie or the gummy candies would be great, but if I have a death low, which they happen, I have type 1 diabetes, don't have glucose tablets, so I don't even know if I will be able to find glucose tablets in Lion's Head. Sometimes they're hard to find, but at least I can stock up on some more candy that I won't be so afraid of going low, because at least I'll have enough supplies. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I just keep thinking of stuff. So I ripped off the Leuko tape from my hips because it was sticking to my shirt. I thought, well, I'll just take it off and hope I don't take the skin off. And I have 2 blisters that were seeping underneath of that Leuko tape. So that's really gonna feel like shit tomorrow. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I don't think Leuko tape is a good thing to put on like open wounds, so I might try to put some
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe just some plain old Band-Aids. One day back in the day when I first started backpacking, I took my pack towel at the time and I cut squares out of the pack towel. I'm tired. And I duct taped them to my hips. I just have to get through this first like few days so that my hips can man the fuck up. I don't know. Stupid hips.
Can you tell I was even there? Hope not. Well, good morning. I feel like my eyes are really puffy. They're always really puffy. I should have had more than one coffee, but I was trying to conserve water. I had to carry a lot of water at the end of the day yesterday. I filled up right before that road walk, so I had an extra 4 liters of water on me for an 8-kilometer road walk. But that's because I was dry camping last night, and today I'm not sure where my first access to water is. I think it's quite a while. Hi Ryan, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I needed water for dinner last night, drinking water, a little bit of cleaning water. I didn't really get a chance to clean anything. I just kind of wiped things down. Water for coffee this morning, water to make my oatmeal this morning, and then whatever I need for the first chunk of today to drink. That's a lot of water. So I'm feeling pretty loaded. My hips are so-so. I've got a Band-Aid on one of them. The other one wasn't as bad as far as the skin wasn't broken open yet. But I think the Leukotape was a bad idea on skin that was already kind of blistered. This trail is really rough. Why did I pull this fucking camera out? I don't really know. I guess just to say hi, here I am, hiking again. It's very cloudy this morning, but I finally got a bit of service after being in like a dead zone for pretty much all of yesterday and all night. And until just a few minutes ago this morning. Hey, it's my old friend the Texas rock. I forget. It's still there from last year. Not that I would expect it to be gone. What am I thinking? Somebody's gonna pick it up and move it or take it home with them? Oatmeal. I'll probably eat half of it now. And then I'll stop in a while and eat the other half. It's too much for me to eat all at once. But for a change, I am actually hungry. So I must be doing something right. I could use more coffee though. I might make some cold coffee. Except I have nothing to put it in. I know. Just dump the packet into my mouth. Swig some water. This whole section of trail is so brand new that you can hardly even tell where to go. I'm following the white blazes, literally, because if I didn't, I would just get lost. Even the Bruce Trail app doesn't show this. I was following the trail and I stepped over some really big logs. I'm thinking that's odd. They seem placed on purpose. And sure enough, they were, because I got out to the road and all the Bruce Trail blazes were scraped off. So then I walked backwards and here I am picking it back up. But it's not easy because it's super squishy. It's never been hiked on. Super weird. Virgin Trail. I am sweaty. The last hour I knew this was coming and I've been looking forward to it. The weird house that I said would be strange to measure. I need a break. I'm hurting. It's really hot today. Everything else is fine, it's just hot. So I'm gonna take a rather long break here to see if I can dry this shirt out. Oh man. Ooh. Made lunch today. I made this a few hours ago and it's been rehydrating in my pack. Couscous, TVP, some freeze-dried vegetables, my spices, snatch / nutritional yeast. It's okay. Although I'm not very hungry, but I'm trying. Okay, time for my random fact about me for today. The views. You cannot pass up the views around here. Once you get south of Wyerton-ish, those gorgeous views of Georgian Bay slowly disappear. So you gotta take them in while you can. It's incredible. What was I saying? Weird. Oh, random fact. I really like stealth camping. And I especially really like camping alone, which a lot of people aren't a big fan of, especially women, most of the time. I went on my first solo backpacking trip when I was about, I think it was maybe 20. And I was nervous. I was definitely nervous. It was just in Algonquin Park, which, looking back, Algonquin Park was exciting. Looking forward, the amount of times I've been to Algonquin Park, it's pretty idiot-proof. And it is a trip that didn't go well, but that's because I didn't have the money for the right type of equipment. And I'm too ambitious. My first solo backpacking trip, I went out planning to go for I think it was 8 days. Was something ridiculous. Needless to say, by the third day I was back at my car and I had hiked out I think 24 kilometers on that third day, nearly killing myself. I pretty sure my pack weighed at least 40 pounds. It was unbelievable. I could list off the things that were in it. And since I have time, fine, I will. I had a 3-season, 3-person tent. It was the Mountain Hardware Room with a View, if you remember it. One of the best tents. But it was massive. And it was old. We're talking more than 20 years ago. It was pretty heavy. I had a minus 30-degree synthetic sleeping bag. It was a Sierra Designs and it took up the majority of my pack. And I don't know, it was the only sleeping bag I had. I didn't have any other sleeping bag, and I planned this trip at the time, I think it was September, so there was no need for a minus 30-degree sleeping bag in September, or a 3-person, like 7-pound tent. And then of course I had a Whisper Light stove, still do have a Whisper Light stove, which is a white gas stove. So I had 2 full bottles of fuel because I thought I'd be going for like 8 or 9 days. I had packs and packs of bagels, you name it. It was horrible. It was a very, very poorly planned trip. On top of my tent, I also had a tarp. Not like, it could have been one of those blue tarps. It was that long ago, it probably was. It was a disaster. I was meant to fail at that one. But the point is, I like backpacking and I like doing it alone. Would I like somebody to do it with me? Kind of. But I'm not afraid of camping. I'm not afraid of camping alone. I'm not afraid of stealth camping. I don't particularly enjoy it just because it's so not permitted. So that's the stigma that I'm not pleased about, especially on the Bruce Trails, trying to find stealth sites. That's the only thing that upsets me about it, is finding the spots. But once I find my spot and I feel like I'm hidden away, yeah, give it to me. I'm not afraid of animals, except for that deer that scared the shit out of me last year. I am afraid of bears, but I do my best as far as hanging food and all that shit. I am bear aware. Okay, that's it. Bye. Like I'm walking through some sort of movie set. There's still like dying leaves from winter. It's just so unbelievably gorgeous. Made it to Reed's Dump. I only just got here. I had to sit down. My stuff's up there. I will go set it up, but it's pretty nice. And I don't think you can see it, but it's Lion's Head over there. So that's where I'm going tomorrow and have a campsite booked. Last night when I got to camp, I was so disoriented and messed up that I did something I would never do, and I prioritized food over coffee. It was the right thing to do, given my history, because if I had coffee, I probably wouldn't have had food. But tonight, I am feeling better. There was that section in the middle of the day where it was just sweltering, and tonight I'm having coffee before dinner. And it's fucking delicious. Talk about lazy.
don't fall.